12 months from today, the power dynamic at Sterling Capital will experience a total reversal. Director Connor Whitfield will walk into this boardroom to deliver a performance report directly to the woman he currently refers to as just an assistant. How does an employee at the absolute bottom of the corporate ladder, someone functionally invisible to leadership, manage to replace her own boss in a single year? The shift started with a massive corporate blind spot. Priya Malhotra discovered a critical financial failure that her director's ego wouldn't let him acknowledge. This wasn't a failure of intelligence, but of structure. Corporate hierarchy acts as a rigid filter, often trapping a company's most vital operational truths at the very bottom of the pyramid. At Sterling Capital, human value is measured by job titles and the number of desks reporting to your corner office. For 26-year-old Priya Malhotra, that meant a day-to-day existence of pouring coffee, booking flights, and organizing dense files that no one else bothered to open. But look at the flow of information. While power sits at the top, raw data enters at the bottom. Being entirely ignored gave Priya something the executives lacked: uninterrupted, unfiltered exposure to the firm's granular performance. While leadership is focused on high-level strategy, the invisible workers are often the only ones actually reading the operational details that determine whether those strategies are actually working. On a Tuesday morning in March, Priya spotted a synchronized anomaly buried in the quarterly client retention report. 3 top accounts, Henley Group, Caldwell Partners, and Whitmore Family Trust, reduced activity by 20%. She took this highlighted mathematical proof directly to her director, Connor Whitfield. Priya had successfully diagnosed a systemic revenue crisis, but her data was about to hit a fatal organizational roadblock. Connor looked at the numbers for 3 seconds before telling her to leave the analysis to the analysts. This is the information bottleneck. It occurs when ground-level intelligence is discarded simply because the person delivering it lacks executive status. Strict hierarchy turns job titles into blinders, ensuring the person most capable of solving the problem is the one least likely to be heard. That afternoon, Priya overheard Connor talking to another director. When the colleague suggested Priya might have a future in analysis, Connor dismissed it instantly, saying, "She's just an assistant." Those 5 words acted as a final closing door on her role. They landed with absolute dismissive finality. Instead of discouraging her, the insult stripped away her illusions. It left her with a cold, strategic determination to use the information she possessed. When the office emptied that night, Priya stayed at her desk. She opened her laptop to finish the work on her own terms. She spent hours building a cross-referenced model, proving that the fee structure was the specific trigger for the client departures. Her model didn't just explain the past, it predicted the future. It identified 2 more major accounts that were already showing the early warning signs of leaving. Priya realized she held the only accurate diagnosis for a revenue hemorrhage that the senior partners were still mislabeling as a seasonal trend. Arrogant leadership forfeits the truth. By withholding the solution until it was requested by the partners, above Connor's head, Priya transformed his blind spot into her own strategic leverage. She didn't just find an error, she positioned herself as the only person who could stop the firm's top clients from walking out the door. Dismissing an employee based on a low-status title doesn't just silence them, it hands ultimate corporate leverage to the person who is already doing the work you're too proud to see.